I think this is a question that everyone wonders once in a life. Maybe I already felt like I'm crazy a little bit, but sometimes I look society and I say, okay, I'm a kind of like okay crazy, acceptable way, I would say. For me, my way of view of depression, stuff like that, life is a cycle, and when life goes really well and everything's fine, the sky is blue, for sure sometimes you don't have any reason to be depression and stuff like that. You're young, your parents is still alive, your grandfather, your grandmother is still alive, everyone that you love is still around you. But I think you're gonna reach a moment in your life that, like my dad always used to say, like, life is good, but it's hard sometimes. So I think eventually in your life you're gonna have like a black day, kind of. And there is the moment where you're gonna realize, like, okay, life is not just a blue sky. And then you start to have some days like a little bit foggy, and then you have another day, and then you see you're in this room for a long time with no light, and you don't know how to get out anymore. I think I would describe like that, depression. And I do believe everyone gonna pass through once in a life, I mean, like, some people gonna maybe last one day, like you're gonna have a bad day, and some people gonna have a bad year, and everything depends on who is around you and what they're gonna do for you, and the way you think as well. You have to struggle sometimes, you have to pass through a lot of stuff, and I think it's complicated. I think when you have a depression, you're always gonna live with that a little bit, and you have to work your mind a lot every day and say, life is beautiful and life is nice, and I'm gonna pass through that. And I think is that the hardest thing you pass every day is like to keep moving, keep going. I think this is the hardest thing, and depends on a lot a positive way of think. Sometimes you had a really, really, really dark moment, and then you take the medicines, and then you try to get better, and okay, you get better. But sometimes you feel guilt because, yeah, my life is good, I have everything, but that small point is always like, why I'm sad, I think this is the hardest. I should be more grateful about life. And these negative thoughts that you have to deal with, I think, is the hardest part. Sometimes about the future, but it's so stupid because you cannot control that. But sometimes I get a little bit anxious. But sometimes I think about the future and I'm afraid of what can happen. I'm not afraid about a lot of things, Everything I pass through, I'm really grateful for life. And if I die now, I would say I enjoy as much as I could my life. I did whatever I want. I met nice people and I felt love. Well, nowadays, let's say I'm Brazilian, so first hobby is football. It's where I grew up, it's a kind of like a religion. It's like a barbecue. It's just a reason to get together and we get crazy, and it's really good soccer. You put out all your frustrations. You go to the stadium and you can say a lot of bad words, and it's like sometimes your life's not going well and then you just put the fault in a player. I think it's nice. This is the good thing about soccer. My second one, I would say, is food. I love it. Sometimes if my day is not going well, I'm go to the kitchen and I try to put a lot of love in the food and eat well. I think one of the great pleasure of your life is eat well, Don't waste your time and money buying things. Eat well, I think it's the best thing. My third hobby, I would say, I'm like a bon vivant. I like to go out, sit, drink, and chat, and I think it's a therapy that. I had a friend, once I remember I went to pick it up in Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. we were going out. I was maybe 20 years old, and then Sunday I arrive in his house, and I look at his daddy and I say, oh my God, probably he's pissed off with me. It's been 4 days in a row we are going out and coming back 3, 4 a.m. And he's a doctor. I remember I call him, oh, I'm so sorry, Sir Antonio. It's the 4th day in a row I can pick up your son. I know you kind of abused this weekend. And I remember he say, sit here, Daniel. I look to him, oh my God, probably he gonna talk a lot bad things for me, what I'm doing to my life, going out. And he say, Daniel, some people pay some psychologue, to have therapy. But some people like you go out and you sit, you drink, and you put your problems out. What you're doing, guys, is a therapy. Nowadays, I see in this way. Sometimes when I go out with a friend, I'm not feeling well, I'm having a hard day. It's really good. You go there, start drinking some beers, not to get drunk. It's just to do like this circle, sit, talk, you put your frustrations out. Your friend put the frustrations out. And I think it's like a group therapy, which you pay for the beer, not for the person. I can say I'm a happy person. I like to make people laugh. I like to make jokes about anything. You cannot be too serious in this life, because life is hard. You have bad moments. I have a kind of mate, he's really serious all the time. And I say to my wife, this dude, he has an easy life. And my wife always asks me, why? And I say, because you know what? I think the hardest thing in this life is make joke about everything, be funny, because life is hard, it can be hard. So if you're serious all the time, it's because you have an easy life. When you pass through hard moments, you have to laugh. Because the hardest thing in this life, is be happy, because it's easy for you to be sad all the time. This is the easiest path. It's the easiest way, because even if you had a hard moment, a hard day, and then you find a moment to laugh, I think this is important. I would say I have 2 social lives. I have my social life here in Quebec, which means I'm a daddy, I have my son, it's a quiet life, which I enjoy a lot. I just want to have a bottle of wine and watch Netflix with my wife. It's perfect. And then I have my social life of Brazil, the Daniel that used to be there. I used to be a popular guy in my country. I used to have a lot of friends. My dad used to say, if you end up your life and you can put one friend in his hands, you're a lucky guy. And I'm a blessed person. I can say I have 10 good friends, I can put in these hands. Really good friends, they are family. I put them before than my family. And nowadays my family, they don't judge that for anymore. In Brazil we say a good friend, what is a good friend? It's the guy you call 4 a.m, and he go take out you from prison. You end up in jail, and so you call 4 a.m. And this guy get out from bed and he go look for you in the prison and he pay for you. We say in Brazil, this is a good friend, So my social life is fun, Here in Quebec, I would say I have 1, 2 friends, and I'm okay with that. You reach a moment in your life, you're tired to meet new people. My time is a little bit short, and I don't want to do new connections, because the few people that I have, real friends, demand time, You need to dedicate to them, and I have really good people in my life, and I'm aware of that, and I give value for that. I like to give time to my wife and my son. But once in a while I travel to Brazil and arrive there, and my wife say, I'm not sure we will be married here. Because there I have these friends, and we're always together. And it's fun. Sometimes I spend 1 year without talking to a friend. And when I arrive there, it's like we haven't split. We chat for 4, 6 hours, and doesn't have even one moment that I don't have subject to talk to him now. So I feel good like that. First, it's hard to be here, and talk. It's something that no one wanna talk. So maybe the first time I did a depression, I had maybe 16 years old. So I'm a man, so we don't like to put our feelings out. We kind of raised to be strong. And it's not life, but you keep inside. You don't keep inside. This is just gonna hurt you. Doesn't matter, gonna take 2, 4, 5, 10, 20, 30 years, this is always gonna beat you. So I always have someone to talk. So I had 16 years old, I had this depression. I never told to no one. Then I was 18 years old, I moved to other city, I started university, everything, and then I realized what I chose to do in the university was not what I liked. But my mom, my dad spent money on that already, then you feel guilt to change. Then I had a crazy year, not eat well, drinking a lot. And then I think that I reached my maximum that moment. And I never spoke to no one. No one, like, I kept that all inside, I thought, no, I'm a strong person, no, this is like a pussy person that does depression, and I go look for help. And I spent this crazy year, and there was one night I broke up with a girlfriend that I had, and then I started drinking a lot. I drank maybe 1 liter of whiskey in a night and used some drugs and stuff like that. And after this moment, I don't remember anything. So basically what I try to do is I try to kill myself. It's it doesn't have any other explanation. You drink 1 liter of whiskey in one night. And I know my daddy found me home. I threw up and I was in this position, straight flat. So I was kind of swallowing my own vomit. And when he found me, I was about to die, kind of. And then I went to the hospital. The nurse, I remember I woke up, there was the sign they put next to you, and it was wrote suicide attempt. I said, what the fuck, But besides all that, I think the only thing that really hurts me nowadays is wake up. I remember I woke up and I looked my daddy was next to me, When you're young, you're 18 years old, you have no idea how important you are for the other person. You're really selfish. Because you're young, you have 18, 20 years old, you have the whole life in front of you. Like my dad is saying, you sell health, yeah, it's true, you're in the best moment of your life, physically and everything, you're young. And you feel like you're immortal, that never gonna happen anything to you. And then I remember I woke up next in this bed and I looked to my daddy. And this image still hurt me a little bit, because then I realized how important you are for the other person. And I remember my dad woke up, and he told me, do you realize how important you are for me? If something happened to you, I don't know how I would keep going my life. And this is hard, I still living with this weight in my shoulders, kind of. But in a good way, In a good way that I'm never gonna think about that anymore. Life is precious and you must keep going. And because nowadays, I'm 30 years old, 31. And it's been, how many years that? 12, 13 years ago. And I had such beautiful moments after that, Yeah, sometimes you have a bad moment in life, but sometimes you're gonna have a fucking 5 awesome moments in your life. So life is a balance of that, I have a son now. I look to him, I love him so much, people say it's a cliche, but yeah, when you have a son, you look at that little eyes, you take the little hands, and sometimes I wonder myself, if I was not so lucky, if something happened to me, if I really could succeed what I want to do in the past, I lived so many beautiful moments. I went to New Zealand, I saw the first sunset in the world, on the New Year's Eve. I had so many things. I met my wife, on the other side of the world, and a lot of stuff, And sometimes I see some news of people who killed themselves. This really hurts me. Because they could be me, or they could be, could be the opposite. And sometimes they succeed, and I feel really bad. Because maybe I had a second chance, and life is nice, you know, life is so beautiful. And a lot of people don't have the second chance. So don't be strong, you know, like put out, talk to people is important. I wouldn't mind my friends or like my wife and say like, you're Brazilian, no? Because we're Brazilian, we have a stereotype of like party people and stuff like that. But for example, I don't play soccer well. But if my friends say, Daniel, you really sucks in soccer, no. But if someone uses this stereotype as a Brazilian, if I don't know this person, I get a little bit pissed off. You know, like, but you're not good for party, but you're Brazilian. Man, who say all the Brazilians are good for party? Like my grandmother used to say, you know, the best medicine is time. Give time to time. Time will tell. It's a cliche kind of phrase, but it's true, you know, be patient. Live day by day, okay? And there is a beautiful song, a Brazilian song. It's I always listen to this music. It's a really old samba, and it's from the 50s, 60s, you know. And I think he knew what he was talking about. The song is really beautiful. It's like, a sorrir eu pretendo levar a vida, pois chorando eu vi a mocidade perdida. I think this guy knew what he was talking about. His name is Cartola. He's a good guy, you know. He's a good samba, Brazilian samba, and he wrote a lot of music. I think about life, you know, his experience. Probably he used to compose songs when he was like maybe 50, 60 years old. It's like he was like his life was going really bad, you know. So I think it's really truth, that songs of him. So it's a beautiful song. O Sol Nascerá, Cartola. It's that.